So you're welcome to another edition of our biology class. So today we're going to be looking at an important topic called animal nutrition. So as you know that nutrition is one of the characteristics of living things. So as plant feeds, also animals too, they feed. So, and we know that living things are classified into two based on how they derive their food. So now animals are called heterotrophs because they cannot manufacture their own food. They have to depend on the food that are produced by plants. So that is why plants are called autotrophs because they are living organisms that can make their own food on their own. So animals are heterotrophs while plants are autotrophs. So today we're going to be looking at animal nutrition. So under this animal nutrition, we're going to be looking at importance of nutrition to animals, and we're going to be looking at various food substances that are present in the food taken by animals. Not only that, we'll also be considering their food sources, their composition, their functions in the body, and the problems that will arise or that may arise from eating foods that are deficient of these food substances. So these food substances, they are chemicals that are present in the food that is taken by animals. So we have different classes of these food substances. So the first one is called carbohydrates. So carbohydrates, they are food substances that is composed of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. So these carbohydrates, we have three types of carbohydrates. We have the monosaccharides, disaccharides, and polysaccharides. For the monosaccharides, they are simple carbohydrates. They contain just 1 unit of simple sugars. Examples of monosaccharides are glucose, fructose, and the galactose. So these are examples of carbohydrates. So food sources of carbohydrates include yam, potato, rice, millet, and so on. So this food, they supply carbohydrates to the body. So what are the functions of carbohydrates? So these include the supply of energy to the body. So carbohydrates supply energy to the body, and also they also supply heat to the body. And another thing about carbohydrates is that some chemical substances in our body are made of carbohydrates, like the mucus that lines the respiratory system. So it's made from carbohydrates. So the second food substance we'll be talking about is protein. So these proteins, they are large molecules of substance that are present in food we eat. This food substance contains carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, sulfur, nitrogen, and some other trace elements. So this protein is very essential in the nutrition of animals because it performs great important functions in the development of animals. So when food that contains proteins are taken, the body cannot make use of this protein, so it has to convert it into simple substance that can be used. This protein will be broken down to peptones, from peptones to polypeptides, then it will also then to amino acids. So uh, the final stage of the digestion of protein is amino acid. So we have we have the essential amino acid and the non-essential amino acid. While the essential amino acid are the ones that we need to take in our diet, the non-essential are the ones that can be synthesized by the body naturally. So what are the food sources of protein? So we have the animal sources and the plant sources. So the animal sources, they include eggs, meat, milk, cheese, and so on. So even fish. While plant source include beans, peas, and so on. So what are the functions of protein? Proteins help in building the body because it is used in making new cells and new tissues. So it helps in development of animals. So protein helps in building the body. Another one is it is used in repairing worn out tissues and cells. So proteins are used for repairing worn out tissues, and also it is used in synthesizing enzymes which catalyze various chemical substances in the body. So these enzymes, they are responsible for catalyzing various metabolic processes in the body. So they are synthesized using protein, and also protein are used to make hormones in the body. So hormones that help us to perform different actions at different levels of our lives are made with protein. And another function of protein is they're essential in reproduction because so proteins are needed in reproduction. So they play important role in reproduction in animals. The final product of the final stage of the digestion of protein is amino acid. So protein supply amino acid to the body. These amino acids are needed in different ways, in different stages in different metabolic processes in the body. So the next one we're going to be talking about is fat. fats and oils. So fat and oils, they are also food substances. So fats are solid at room temperature, while they are solid lipid at room temperature, while oils are liquid, they are liquid at they are liquid lipids at room temperature. So they are both lipids. So the digestion of fat and oil results into fatty acids and glycerols, which are absorbed by the lymphatic system, and they play important roles in the body metabolic processes. So what are the composition of fat and oil? Fat and oil contains carbon, hydrogen, and very little oxygen. So food sources of fat and oils include butter, margarine, palm oil, vegetable oil, groundnut, melon, and so on. So all these food sources, when they are taken, they supply fats and oils to the body. So what are the importance of fats and oils? They supply energy to the body, even more than carbohydrates. Yes, the digestion of fats and oils in the body supply more energy to the body than carbohydrates. Another thing is that they help in maintaining the body temperature. They help in maintaining, because they supply heat to the body also. So because the oxidation releases heat in the body, so they helps in maintaining the body temperature. So they supply fat soluble vitamins also to the body, and they are essential in the provision of essential fatty acids needed by the animals. So the next one we're going to be talking about is vitamins. So now, looking at vitamins, we have two types of vitamins. We have the fat soluble and the water. So the fat soluble vitamins. So these are vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. So, and while the water soluble vitamins, they include the vitamin B complexes and folic acid. So the fat soluble vitamins are the type of vitamins that are soluble in fat, while the water soluble vitamins are soluble in water. So like I said that fats, these vitamins, they are very good in the body. So food sources of vitamins include egg, milk, cheese, fish, and fruits. Fruits majorly, they are sources of vitamins to the body. And also these vitamins, they are very, very important because they help in the immune system. Yes, they help to fight diseases, especially vitamin C helps in fighting diseases. So they boost immunity of animals. Some are good for vision, some are for bones and teeth development, and some are essential in reproduction, for reproductive uh, uh, in the reproductive system. So they help to improve the fertility. So some are good in some are also used to in forming coenzymes that are necessary in different metabolic processes in the body. While some are important in the blood because they help in forming the red blood cells. So also the blood platelets, yes, so that blood can clot easily. So these food substances, they are very essential in these areas. So the next one is minerals. Mineral salts. So mineral salts, these are different groups of substances that are also necessary to be present in the food taken by animals. So we have different examples. We have calcium, we have magnesium, yeah, iron, we have sodium and chlorine. Phosphorus and sulfur. So we also have others that time will not permit us to mention here. So all these are examples of mineral salts. So calcium, magnesium, iron, sodium, and chlorine, iodine, phosphorus, and sulfur. All these are examples of a mineral salt. So like food sources of mineral salts include milk, egg, fish, green leafy vegetables, seafoods, liver, that's or fats, that's livers and all the inner part of animals. So we can even brown rice. So all these supply um mineral salts to the body. So like calcium now. So like calcium is essential for bone and for strong bone and strong teeth. So it's very essential for that, and it's also important in the proper functioning of the heart, nervous system, and the muscles. So the So like the magnesium also, it's also necessary for bones and the teeth. It's also necessary for them, and even for the body to be able to utilize this substance here, this mineral salt here, iron. So magnesium is important in for the body to be able to utilize iron. So iron is essential for the for formation of hemoglobin in the red blood cells in the body. So sodium and chlorine, they are essential for the maintenance of osmotic balance in the body. So they are responsible for maintaining osmotic balance in the cells, and so they're also necessary for normal transmission of impulses in the nervous system. So the sodium and chlorine, they are essential in this part. So iodine is also an essential mineral salt because it is needed by the thyroid gland to make tyrosine. You know, that's the gland that makes the growth hormone. So for it to be able to function properly, so iodine is needed to start the metabolic process of forming tyrosine in the body. So and another thing is phosphorus. So this phosphorus is necessary for proper respiration in the body, and also phosphorus forms part of the DNA and the RNA. That's the compound that carries the genetic information of animals. So phosphorus makes an important part of that, and also it's also necessary for strong teeth and strong bone development. So sulfur is part makes part of the of some of amino acid. Some amino acid contains sulfur. So these amino acid, we see that they are very necessary in the body because they are necessary for different metabolic processes to occur in the body. So we have seen different mineral salts, their food sources, and their importance in the body. So the next one is water. So water. So water also is part of the food sources. So we have different. We have so the composition of water. Water contains oxygen, like we know that it's H2O. Yes. So it contains hydrogen and oxygen. So that's the only thing that are present in water. So hydrogen and oxygen. So what are the food sources of water? So water can be gotten from metabolic water. That is the water that is present in the food eaten by animals. So and also water can be getting from tap, from stream, from the rivers, and so on. So we have different sources of getting water. So what are the importance of water to the body? Metabolic water, that means the water that is present in the food eaten by animals, they aid digestion. So water, they aid digestion. Another thing is that water is necessary for the transportation of materials in the body, throughout the body, because materials move throughout in the body. So water is necessary for the movement of this material. Another function of water is that it is needed for the proper removal of waste products in the body. So for waste not to accumulate in the body, for waste to be properly expelled out of the body, so water is needed. And water form parts of the it form parts of the blood. Yes, it forms the major part of the blood, because even the major parts of the body of an animal is composed of water. So water is needed is highly needed in the body of animal for is highly needed in the body of animal for proper functioning of all different parts of the body of animals. And water also it's needed to as solvent, so in the body, because it dissolve a lot of materials in the body, and also it forms the basis of the endocrine glands and secretions. So the secretion that comes from the endocrine glands, they are major. The major base is water. So we can see that water, it is needed to be present in the food taken by animal. So the last one we'll be looking at is roughage. So these roughages, they are indigestible fibers that are present in the food of animals. They are very important because they they cannot be digested. One, so therefore when they are eating, they feed the animals so that it prevents overeating. So and another thing is that these roughages, they release glucose in very little amount. They also prevent constipation. So roughages prevent constipation. So this will in turn helps in preventing gastrointestinal diseases like bowel cancer disease. It also reduces the cholesterol level in the body. So these are the importance uh, of all these food substances. So we can see that taking these food substances are essential because we have seen the importance of taking all these food substances. So now, what will happen if a person is deficient or if an animal is deficient of these food substances? So if carbohydrate is lacking in the food of animals, it can lead to it can lead to weakness because it supply energy to the body. So it can lead to weakness. So the animal will look weak and fragile. So the person might not be able to carry out its daily activities. Another one is protein. So if protein is not present in is inadequate in the food taken by animal, it can lead to different diseases. So like kwashiorkor, for example, you can see children or people who are malnourished that has these diseases. You can see that they are placing because the body will be lean, the stomach will be protruded, and other kind of diseases will accompany it. So, and there will be poor growth and development of such animal when there is no protein. So for fat and oil, if a person is deficient of fat and oil, the person also will not be able to make the essential fatty acids and glycerol, which are needed by different metabolic processes in the body. And also, even the skin will not look smooth because it will be cracked due to lack of fats and oils on the skin. So for vitamins, we have a lot of problems that can arise if from not taking vitamins. One of them is scurvy, and you see people with these diseases, we have blisters and sores with wounds in their mouth. It can also lead to poor healing of wounds. Another thing is it can lead to poor vision and infertility, problems with bones and the teeth. So and even the inability to absorb some other essential nutrients in the body because of lack of vitamins. So for the mineral salt, so if mineral salt is not present in the food taken by animals, but is not adequate in the food taken by animal, like for calcium, the person will have poor bone, so the bone will not be strong, so which can lead to rickety and bone problems. So and even it can also lead to poor growth, poor development, and shortage of blood can arise. Anemia can arise from inadequate supply of iron in the body. So for iodine, if iodine is not enough in the body, it can lead to a problem known as goiter. This is the swelling of the thyroid gland. So and it can also cause poor growth because tyrosine is needed to synthesize the growth hormone. It can also cause dehydration if sodium and chlorine is not present, while sulfur is needed in to make some amino acids, so which the lack of sulfur can also result in poor growth. Why? If there's not enough water in the food taken by animal, you can see there will be poor digestion and there will be constipation, difficulty in having bowel movement, and all these can later lead to having bowel diseases and bowel diseases, which can lead to termination of life in extreme cases. So for roughages too, because roughages helps digestion, it helps the proper movement of the bowel. So lots of roughages in the food taken can also lead to poor bowel movement, difficulty in passing stool, in passing in removing the waste product of digestion. So we have seen the different problems that can arise from not taking enough of these food nutrients. So today we have learned about animal nutrition, the food sources of the food substances that are necessary in the body of animal nutrition. And I believe that today you have learned something today. So see you again in our next class. Bye.